Welcome to our Shield of the Sun video entitled North Korean Soup. In this video, we're going to be discussing some of the paranoia tactics seen from the left-wing party. Apparently, there are people in the left-wing party that just doesn't know how to let things go. They will forever be the enemies to the American people. This isn't to say everybody in the left-wing party, but what we have is this. One side of the left-wing party wants to make America great. They want to structure America and reform their party, and they want to awaken the truth, and they're sick and tired of propaganda, nonsense, and unethical, murderous leaders. The other side of the left-wing party are domestic terrorists. They will forever be domestic terrorists. They will remain domestic terrorists until someone actually puts them in jail. And as long as they can see that they can get away with their crimes and no one is really going to actually arrest them, they will continue on doing fear-mongering things. So this video is just to warn the public of these tactics that you will see from said domestic terrorist. So I'm going to read to you this little article here. And it states, "Are we on the brink of nuclear war with North Korea? Probably not." And this was actually an expert from the Washington Post who for once actually, well, they have before, but lately the Washington Post has been on the outs for basically spreading left-wing fear-mongering propaganda, but this time they decided to go in a different direction and start telling some truth. So since they decided to actually start doing ethical news reporting, I decided to read it, which I'll read it to you here. "The saber rattling from both North Korea and the Trump administration has many people worried that the world is on the brink of a nuclear war. Kim Jong-un's UN's regime is threatening to fire a missile to land near Guam, the American territory in the Pacific Ocean that is home to two huge U.S. military bases. By the middle of this month, he seems to have the technical capability to make good on his threat. His regime has made observable progress in his missile program, notably firing 2 intercontinental ballistic missiles last month, theoretically capable of reaching the U.S. mainland." Theoretically, by the way. President Trump has issued tough warnings to North Korea in response. On Thursday, he warned North Korea that things will happen to them like they never thought possible should the isolated country attack the United States or its allies. There have been many periods of heightened tensions between the two countries over the years, especially in April and August, when South Korea and the United States conducted joint military exercises that North Korea considered a reparation for an invasion. The Washington Post asked a range of experts in both the United States and South Korea if this time was any different and how worried we should be considering of the conflicting breaking out, accidental or otherwise. They stated there is enormous difference between speaking North Korea's language and firing verbal bombs and frankly engaging in such said strong messages to North Korea in the kind of language that North Korea understands. Now Trump's latest threat is impossible, has directly targeted Kim Jong, wherein they have nothing right and threats of war plans are detailed and we have seen with a deadline for Guam. Meaning it's pretty much two sides arguing against each other. Two sides fighting with each other, two sides trying to get their point across. The time isn't any different from the North Korean side. They haven't done that much different than in the past. Kim Jong is testing more missiles, but essentially their behavior is not any different in the last 17 years, but remains the same. The big thing we keep missing about North Korea is that their threats are always the second half of a sentence, and we always ignore the first. The only thing that gets reported in the U.S. media is the second phrase or the second line, not the first. So their comments are clearly deterred in nature, and the Guam threat was exactly along those lines. The left-wing media always overhypes the North Korean threat because it is absolutely not a threat, a preemptive or first strike for the U.S. and the current administration. I put the left-wing part in there because the left-wing controls the media. Might be speaking perhaps a little bit more flamboyantly than previous administrations for sure, but essentially they are saying is no different than any previous administration has said. If the United States is attacked first, we will fight back as usual, but the message is one of deterrence, not first strike. Both sides are simply arguing back and forth for their side, but neither side is preparing for war. It is widely accepted that North Korea will strike at American targets somewhere in the Pacific, but they have no said proven means to be able to do that. In many ways, the pattern of belligerent theoretical and weapons demonstrations in the United States has been fundamentally undermining the peace and security within the United States and funneling confusion within the media reports of what is really the situation between the U.S. and North Korea. There are multiple actions the U.S. and North Korea could take before, for example, targeting other missile sites in the U.S. country to conduct stories over the Korean Peninsula, as well as strategical bomb sites and other guarantees within the war. The current situation differs from previous periods of increased tension on both sides of making substantial and specific threats to strike the other if perceived necessary. The potential for miscalculation is high, but there are no assessments that constitutes any hostile intent by either side. And pretty much the report goes on and on like that, where it's pretty much detailing the fact that there is no evidence to say that North Korea is going to drop nuclear weapons in 3 weeks. There is no evidence to say that North Korea and the United States are going to war. There is no evidence at all. It's basically North Korea playing games, looking for ways to spread fear, and the left-wing media is looking to help them do it. So now that I've said this, just understand this, and I just want to make this brief. Unless an actual nuclear attack is going on, then worry. Because the truth is, there's nothing you can do to prepare before otherwise for a nuclear attack. I don't care how many bunkers they sell you. I don't care how many pills they sell you. I don't care how many special clothing products they sell you. I don't care how many body lotion equipment they're going to sell you. Nothing is going to prepare you for a nuclear attack. When a nuclear attack comes, it decimates everything. It destroys the entire area, and everyone has to leave the area because the area, even an underground area, is poisoned. And this is something you should know. I do not believe that's going to happen in 3 weeks. In fact, I don't think that's going to happen for quite a long time from now. Now, to understand this, President Trump is stating to North Korea that if you bomb Guam, that we will retaliate with a nuclear strike. That is actually acceptable within military parameters to avoid said nuclear strike. Meaning that what the post is showing you is that we have all kinds of military tactics to avoid that. Even if we have to use hostile force, it can be used in a way to deter further nuclear strikes. Therefore, ultimately, North Korea is not a threat. Ultimately, if they really wanted some, they'll get their butts handed to them. Ultimately, their missiles cannot reach the U.S. mainland. It has not been proven they've been able to do that. They can reach China, Japan, and the Pacific areas. Maybe they should be more worried about it. But not us. The left wing on their flyers, in one of their horrible flyers, they handed out flyers to people warning them of a nuclear attack. For those left-wing persons who are doing that, they are domestic terrorists spreading fear to other people, spreading lies to other people. So let me debunk some of their lines. In their flyers, they said that North Korea has the capability of launching missiles to every major American city. This proven to be not true. They also said that if you acquire a bunker and wash your clothes with certain amounts of shampoo and soap, that this will eliminate radiation disease from off your skin. This turned out to be not true. So understand that they're trying to sell bunkers and they're trying to sell lotions and cream in the hopes to see how much fear they put into you and how many suckers are in this country that are going to buy into their fear-mongering ways. Because the truth is, there are people in power at the left and right-wing parties, because anytime a lot of these left-wingers want to produce flyers, somebody in the right is paying for it. What you have to understand is this. This is a way to spread propaganda because they're trying to control their propaganda. They're concerned that when more people are not distracted on media, when more people are not distracted on Hollywood products, and when more people are watching channels like mine and they have to go out of their way to censor it, what they're concerned about is people waking up to the realities of the Bible, waking up to the realities of themselves, dealing with themselves, repenting about themselves, getting right with truth, getting awakened. This is what they're concerned with. Because if more people do that, that means more people will turn away from their institutions, they'll turn away from propaganda, and they'll force the governments to start telling the truth. because they'll bring the truth to them. They'll bring it right up to their face every time they want to lie about something. Oh, you're telling me spiritual reality doesn't exist? Hey, it does exist. Oh, you're telling me that your institutions are better? No, they're not. They suck. I can teach my kids way better than you can. That is what they're concerned with. They're concerned with parents growing a backbone and telling their feminist groups you can no longer teach our kids, and telling other people that unless you're actually authorized to be a teacher and not some illegal with false papers, we're not going to let you teach our kids. We're also not going to let people like Hillary Clinton and Obama change the way things have been going on for centuries in this world. We're not going to let you defy to us who God is, who you are, and what we should be doing. We're not your slaves, we're not your serfs, and we're not your personal entertainment. Get a life. If there's going to be a nuclear weapon dropped, so be it. If we're going to war with North Korea, so be it. But I would rather those things happen on terms we handle than allowing us to take their flyers, buy into their curses, so that Satan can get an opportunity to bomb us. You got to wake up. Wake up to the realities. Wake up to the truth, because this whole thing is soup. Unless something actually does happen, which there wouldn't be nothing you can do about it if it is a nuclear attack. And if it's not a nuclear attack, believe me, our military is assured we'll handle them. Stop worrying. Stop being afraid. Stop allowing feminist groups, homosexual groups, and domestic terrorist groups who are nothing but socialists, communists, ruining your life in this capitalist, democratic society we have, which is nothing but opportunities for people who really want to learn. We're not a country that's going to be built just for welfare and stupidity, just for lies and propaganda, so some celebrity can tell me how to live while he goes home and molests children. We're not doing that. Now, if you want to continue doing that, that's your American right to be a moron then. Go ahead and do it. But I will not subject myself or teach my people moronic activity knowing it's not helping people. These domestic terrorists belong in jail for spreading fear, lies, and hatred, and probably working with the press and government within North Korea to spread fear to Americans, because perhaps their puppet leader has nothing better to do but to wear a big funny hat and look at nuclear cells and pretend like he's going to do something. If you're going to do it, do it. If not, don't waste my time. And that should be your attitude. You got to stand up for what is right. This has been our Shield of the Sun video. If you'd like to donate to Shield of the Sun, you can send it to, going to cut that off for a second. There we go. At MIGUELJIMENEZ at P.O. Box 39204, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28278. You can also purchase the books written by me at www.lulu.com. Do not let fear rule the day or the night. Do not let your pride get the better of you. Stay committed, stay focused on truth, and stay off the domestic garbage.